Well, soft plastics, let's talk about the lures themselves. There are a million varieties, but there are three main styles that are going to pretty much suit every situation. And that's your minnow or your paddle style, which might require a little bit more of an aggressive action and deeper style fishing. The larger versions of these are perfect for your barramundi, mangrove jack and your northern species, and your larger flathead and mulloway. Or you can come into your prawn or your shrimp style patterns. A lot of these, they tend to be a lot smaller, but they work extremely well, of course. Everything in Australia eats a prawn. Then you've got something that is a fantastic all-rounder, and that's your curly tail grub. These days, these things come in small versions and quite large versions, and they require a little bit more of a finesse and just a little bit of a slow lift and rise. With that curly tail, it's always working. On the lift up, on the way down, after the cast, they are a fantastic all-rounder. But once again, it's extremely important, no matter which one of these that you choose, you've got to match it up with your conditions, the species that you're chasing, and your jig head itself. So again, selection, presentation, and then find the right location. There's three main retrieves for soft plastics fishing. There's the single lift, the double hop, and the slow roll, which is pretty much a freshwater style retrieve. And basically it's just cast, let your lure sink to the bottom. How do you know that? Watch your line, the belly of the line. When you see it relax, you know that your jig head's hit the bottom. Then you start with a single lift, take up the slack and watch, it's relaxed. You're on the bottom again, single lift, let it go back down. With most fishing, you're going to get your hits as it falls back down. So stay in contact with your line and watch it. Bang. Lift. Bang. Okay? Watch the belly of the line the whole time. That's the single lift. A really good retrieve for smaller plastics and curl tails, because you can give it that real finesse. Also good for shrimp and style pattern soft plastics as well. With the double hop, it's exactly the same. Cast out, let your lure sink to the bottom. I love the double hop for flathead fishing. They're implosion feeders, they eat their prey whole, and they've got really hard mouths, so it helps you really sink that hook, and it's quite an aggressive retrieve. Kicks up a lot of dust, kicks up a lot of sand and attracts the fish. It's just whip, whip like that, let it sink back down, bang them on the bottom, whip, whip. Watch the belly of the line, bang them on the bottom, whip, whip. That way, as it falls back down, if a flathead grabs it, when I do the double whip, bang, I'm sinking the hook as well. And it gives that lure up, up action, really sort of excites the fish to pounce on it. Lift, lift, down. The other retrieve is the slow roll. Pretty self-explanatory really. Just a slow roll of the handle, get the lure down to the stage of the water column you want it, and then just a slow rolling retrieve, bringing that lure through the water column and watching for any little bites along the way, and strike hard. Really good retrieve for freshwater species. Just don't do it too fast. And doing things too fast is the biggest mistake a lot of people make when they're doing all of these retrieves. Slow it down, watch your line, and you'll have success. And that's the beauty of land-based soft plastics fishing. All you need is a couple of plastics, some jig heads, a pair of pliers in your pocket, and away you go. You can just walk and just cover so much ground. We can go right up to the end of here, round the other side, and we can have a ball and talk about things when we do it. Catch a few fish. Land-based fishing can be done. Don't need the big flash bait. Yep, there he is right there. And another one right at our feet. That's like 3 fish in 4 casts, Brody. They're only small, but it's a lot of fun. A few legals in amongst them. Flathead really love soft plastics. They're a great target species for somebody learning the soft plastics. They really hit them hard. But once again, you still got to watch your line, and you've got to stay in contact with your lure. That's a really important thing. That belly in your line, that sectional line from your tip to the surface of the water, although you need it to be slack, so your lure's on the bottom, it doesn't have to be a huge belly caught in the wind, because the fish is going to grab it, you're not going to see it, and you're going to miss the bite. Stay in contact with your lure, and remember, what's happening down this end of your rod when you're doing this is being transmitted to your lure, because you're using super fine braided line and a nice leader, and a nice quality graphite carbon rod. can see our retrieves are a lot more aggressive on the double hop than they are for the single lift for the brim. Simply because we're fishing in deeper water, we've got larger jig heads, we've got a lot more line out, and we have a lot more information to transmit all that way to that lure. And we really want that lure to get down in the sand and dart around, and that double hop certainly works. And oh, I've just missed one as well. But yeah, our retrieve is a lot more aggressive, and we're sinking those hooks as well, and that's not a bad little fish, mate. That's well over legal. A really good way to handle flathead is with a pair of lip grippers. Light ones right through the bottom jaw. Always support the belly, don't hang them vertically because the guts will fall down and crush themselves internally in the fish. So basically you're not touching the fish anywhere, you're free of the spines, and you just put them in the water and release the grip, and off he goes. He hasn't touched you and you've hardly touched him. Ideal lip grippers. Again, the location rule comes into play. You can see why we're here. A large flat with some oyster rocks, plenty of weed, all draining out into this channel and swirling around in slower water in sections into about 8 or 10 foot of water where all the predatory fish are going to be. At the minute we're catching flathead. 2 weeks ago, I was up in Cape York using exactly the same technique on soft plastics, catching barramundi and mangrove jack. So those 3 rules, they do apply all around the country. Well done, mate. Well, there you go, there's another little flatty caught on a soft plastic using our 3 reels. We've had a ball this afternoon catching these fish. We've caught plenty, and we hope we've showed you how to make catching flathead on soft plastics easy. Well, the afternoon's getting on now. We're going to head up the back of this system into the fresh water and see if we can use our 3 reels and our soft plastics and the same rod and reel combo to catch some Australian bass.